it or not, it is Wednesday again. So here we are. I am with my business partner, Chad Scott, and we're coming to you today to just bring you some more useful information and share some of our knowledge of real estate and what we do every day. So happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday.
Chad, thanks for coming in and doing this with me today. We're going to, Chad and I've just been sitting here actually chatting about the springtime, the spring market. We're finally getting some, almost summer weather now.
Feels great. I'm glad. I'm here for it.
I love it. I'm not big on the wintertime weather.
No.
But we're talking about, sellers and why they choose this time of year to sell. I mean, I think for a lot of people it may be obvious, but there might be some reasons that you don't think about why people sell now and why now is a great time to consider selling. So what are you seeing out there right now?
From what I understand, California is a busy season all the time. There's no winter season per se in selling real estate. Out here, there is a kind of a stronger market, which is the spring and the summer. And from what I've understood, it's for when kids are out of school, new school districts that they want their children to be in and those things, which was kind of weird coming out here at first and realizing, people are actually selling in order to get into that school and this school and everything like that. But it makes sense after being here for a little bit.
Yep.
So that's what I think is my number one thing of why people are selling in the spring and summertime market.
Sure. Yeah. And I think school zones and transitioning kids is a big thing that people look at. And I think it's another reason that maybe our November, December market picks up just a little bit right around the holiday time is, it's just to switch kids school zone at that half semester mark. But so yeah, I think with the kids coming out of school now, I will say I've sold real estate in the Nashville area for almost 20 years. And when I first got into real estate, I will say that like April, May, those were big months. Things started cranking up and whatnot. Over the last couple of years, I've noticed May kind of getting a little bit funny. And I got to thinking, why is that? And I think it's mainly just because of graduations, proms.
It's busy.
Everybody's so busy, a little bit distracted. So I do think coming into June and July, we'll see quite a bit. I mean, the market to me has stayed very, very steady. It's done really, really well. It's not moving in the way that it was, 6 months ago where things are, you can't even get in to see a house and it's already under contract. Now we are still having stuff that's selling really fast. But I think that's a good thing for sellers and for buyers. Also, we were out staging today a house that we've got coming in Springfield, and it's got some land and stuff with it. And driving out there, I was like, this is the perfect time to be out here enjoying the beautiful weather.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's green. The flowers are all coming in. I mean, it looks about as pretty as it's going to look. I mean, it's really gorgeous.
Bugs.
Yeah.
There's quite a few bugs out now.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I might have pulled a tick or two off after staging out there. But so I think for sellers, this is the time of year where they can really beef up the curb appeal.
Yeah. And like you said, May, after being here in the Nashville area for over, a little over 2 years, licensed now, a year and a half, maybe 2 years now. I got to look at it. I'm not sure exactly, but just came in. May was pretty strong. Now it seems to be a little bit more kind of just smoothing out. And then June, July, I think are the busy months. And I think it's because everybody's so busy. Like you're saying, you got graduation, the sun's coming out, lake days and stuff, just enjoying that weather and everything. And I still think sellers, it's still the same mantra: price, location, condition.
Sure.
Those three all got to meet with your criteria to sell, and you should be just fine.
Yeah, I agree. And, again, right now, curb appeal in the winter can be a little bit challenging.
Yeah.
That's one of the things we do with our staging and stuff. So in the springtime, it's easier to put those potted plants out. And we had a client today, we're coming out, she's finishing up flowers and doing all those things. And, it's just looking beautiful. So yeah, it's a great time for you. If you're thinking about selling, the pools are open,
right? Yep.
Everybody's opening their pools.
Yep,
and
our community pool opens this weekend. So.
Yep. There you go. And so, yeah, the community pools are opening and people can see the amenities and the people in the community out moving around and that sort of thing. So yeah, the timing is great. But it, spring also means exactly what you're talking about, the whole price, condition, location. The condition thing, you've got to scrape winter off. You got to scrape winter off those houses, the pressure washing, the weeding of the flower beds, the new mulch, all those things. And then I know as we go through the winter, a lot of people are, they put off even interior maintenance at that point. The painting, the scraping and chipping of paint, the restaining of things.
Carpet and paint are just a slight upgrades can do so much for when people walk in. Like as a seller, you want to alleviate the speed bumps from your buyer. When someone walks in, they see like, oh my gosh, what is that? There's already speed bumps and there's already caution in their head. The seller, your goal is to alleviate all those, so they walk in and like, oh my gosh, the pictures don't do it justice.
Right.
That's kind of how I try to do and prep my sellers and provide with all of our staging and the photos and everything. So.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, it's one of those things when people are coming in, they're excited to find the house, see the house. And what I always try to explain to sellers too is like the showing starts when they pull into the driveway.
Yep,
so,
absolutely.
Obviously we all have GPSs and most of the time they'll pull you right to the front door. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing, you're still kind of having to look at mailbox numbers and my clients always laugh. I'll be like, if your numbers on the mailbox are peeling, chipping, you don't see, or non-existent at all, because the first thing that they are looking for to find your house.
Where the heck is the house?
So if they're already frazzled and frustrated because they drove by it twice, the numbers were peeling, couldn't see it, had to turn around, come back in, then we already have a negative mindset coming into it.
And their agent was late. That rolls.
Yeah. So, the idea of having that maintenance, but you pull up, the numbers are the house is clearly marked with the numbers, all the landscape is intact. You've got the weeding and the fresh mulch, and you've got the fresh pot of flowers that you just put out, even if you're changing those out every couple of weeks because you don't have a green thumb. Like, I get it. But
screens.
Yeah, things like that. I mean, just little bitty things that you think, I've lived like that for 5 years. I don't care. Well, you're also not rebuying the house. Somebody may not, pulling up, they may not want to live like that, or they may, be like, oh, they're not taking care of it, or whatever that looks like. It's really not about it, because we've already talked about this. People live in houses very differently than the way that they show their houses.
Dealing with that on a couple of them right now. The living condition is not to what the buyer condition wants to be. So I've got to, be that median for them both. And like, okay, this is how the buyer wants it to live and everything. Even though you live this way, the buyer doesn't see it that way, and we've got to alleviate those speed bumps.
Sure. Yeah. No, I agree. And it's one of those things too. We're all busy and we're working, and you come home, the last thing you want to do is get out and weed the flower beds. But when it's time to sell, you have to get that house, the curb appeal up. If not, then you're either going to A, sit on the market, or B, you're going to take a huge hit on just a handful of maintenance items. So something that you could fix for $2,000 or $3,000 may cost you 10 or 15.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, well, how could that be? Because people don't look at it that way. They come in, they're buying a home.
Yeah.
Their home. It's an emotional purchase. Yeah. And when they pull up, they want to see. So you pull up, everything's pristine. The mailbox numbers are intact. The landscape, everything's perfect, right? So then you come into it and you're thinking, oh, this looks great. This looks great. Everybody's happy. You come in. So let's say you've done paint and carpet, but there still needs to be like maybe the bathroom needs a little remodel or something like that. If they fall in love with that house, then when they get to think, okay, well, this, and this need to be done. Mm-hmm. We can do this a little long. I can live with it just like it is. And then we can do this a little bit along. So that's the same thing, eliminating those speed bumps. If we can do just a handful of things that makes them feel like this could be my house.
Right.
Emotionally, I am here. This house is great.
We got 30 years to do it. That's, hopefully our agents well, if you guys got 30 years to go ahead and do this, make it your own.
Right. We love it, but we wish it had this or that. So if you just have a handful, like just a few things on your list, 2 or 3 things on the list that still need to be done, you're good. But when you start getting, needs this, it needs that, and needs this, it needs that, and then you're going cha-ching. And you're like, you know what? Maybe we ought to just go to that next house and see what it looks like. Right. So we're, again,
competition.
Yep. You're just trying to eliminate some of the things that people feel like they have to do.
And that's perfectly said. In the spring market, as you're coming up, you see the fresh flowers, you see all the beauty, everything's green again, the mailbox numbers, all of that. In the winter, maybe the curbside appeal is not so much as as important as the inside, right? Because no one's wanting to sit outside. I'm sure it's heck not outside in the winter. I want to be inside, cozy with the family, with the candles going and stuff like that. Spring, it's different. Everybody wants to be outside. We're sick of the winter, ready for that cold snap. Right. And,
especially if you have outdoor spaces, you want to really accent those. Screen-in porches, even front porches, like pulling up on the front porch, and you've got your rockers or your chairs, and you put out your cute little pillows and
rugs.
Your outdoor rugs, all those things. Like you've got all these little like nice little things, you've got out, and it just creates that like homey
Yeah.
that help me feel.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you how many times the houses that I have listed that are in pristine condition, where you have really, on top of it, home sellers that, are just really meticulous about maintenance. Those houses always bring more money.
That they do. And from those houses, when we first list them, when I do the open houses on them, I've had anywhere from 8 to 10 groups each of my last open houses. So the market's healthy. It's busy.
Oh, yeah.
And people are coming in. People are motivated. They understand where we're at. Everybody gets where we're at in the market now. So if you're a seller and you want to sell these things, they're going to push you a lot further than probably most of the competition that you got to go against.
Absolutely. And you've got the beautiful green grass and all of the flowers blooming and things like that. So you're a step ahead of the game from, trying to get that curb appeal in the winter, which can be more difficult. So it's a great time to sell. And, for sure, the market is still really healthy.
Super healthy.
I mean, houses are staying on the market a little bit longer than what they were 6 months ago, but we're not talking about, they're not staying on the market for 6 months. I mean, maybe 30 to 60 days.
Average. Right?
Yeah, which is a normal, healthy market.
That's when I got into real estate. That's what it was.
Well, and you mentioned earlier, Chad, that there was a time during that craziness that sometimes people were overwhelmed. They were a little overwhelmed.
Yeah.
They thought, I don't even want to fully sell in my house because then I'm going to have to buy something. And I can't wrap my head around having to do all that without being able to plan and look and whatnot. So I think with the market relaxing a little bit and just becoming more normal, you can shop for a house and have your house ready to go. And, they're still selling within realistic amounts of time.
A couple of my buyers, I think in the last 2 months, I've gotten 3 contracts accepted with a home sale contingency. Back in the pandemic days, that was not happening. They'd be like, oh, you got to sell your home? No, goodbye.
Right.
Sellers didn't want to deal with it. But now it's a more normal market. Home contingencies are a thing now. People understand that you have to sell your house in order to upgrade and buy this house or downsize and this and that,
Quite honestly, that gives them a little bit of time.
Yeah, and it's
so
fair.
They're not so rushed.
Yeah, I think it's fair. I think it's great.
Well, and being a seller and a buyer at the same time, that can be, buying and selling homes. They're stress. It's stressful. It just is. And our job is to make that minimally stressful by providing you with a plan and the tools. There are going to be hiccups along the way.
Sure.
There's going to be bumps in the road. There always are. We just have to work through those. And, at the end of the day, you've got a buyer and you've got a seller. They're both working towards the same goal.
Mm-hmm.
They want to buy, you want to sell.
Yeah, the seller wants to get what they want. The buyer wants to feel like they got a deal. That's usually the emotion and the mindset behind it both. You now match those two up and everybody's happy. It's a win-win, which is a great transaction.
Absolutely. Everybody working together towards the same end goal.
Absolutely.
And that's what we're here to do. We're here to guide you through these processes, educate you, and have you ready for, these are fun experiences. Selling a home, buying a home, these are life-changing things. They're super fun. And we're here to enjoy that with you, but also to guide you to make it minimally stressful. Like I said, and when you hit a bump in the road, we are here to guide you through that and help you work through how to get to the other side. Everybody's end goal is the same, and that's what we're here to do. So, Chad, I appreciate you coming in and just kind of shooting the bull with me today and talking everybody.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I hope you guys grabbed a tidbit out of this that is helpful. Again, if you have something that you are interested in with real estate and would like for us to discuss, drop us a line, shoot us a text, an email, give us a call. We always want to bring you value on this Wednesday, hump day, middle of the week deal. So let us know what you want to hear about. Hopefully we will continue to be bringing you great information. You guys have an awesome week, and we'll see you next time.
See you guys. Thanks.